Hello and welcome to a review build series which will show you my unfiltered experiences and opinions about ICM's brand new MH-60 Black Hawk in 1:48 scale. We're going very in-depth with this series, so put your seatbelts on. You are in for a roller coaster ride. This video comes to you in cooperation with PCBWay, ICM and MRP Paints. The first step of the instruction is to assemble the control column. These small guys will be needing some cleanup. There are two identical sprue E pieces which hold this and many other small parts. This split mode is a little bit out of register, which is never fun to deal with, but some scraping with a scalpel blade is going to eliminate the issue. Assembling the boot should not pose any difficulties, but whenever handling this type of parts it is important to pay attention so nothing gets broken. Here I'm using the faster setting Mr. Cement SP, which does what it is expected to do, welding these parts rather quickly together, and that's one done. So far the details look rather good. These seam lines are not very welcome, so a few swipes with the sanding stick and we'll have nice surface. And these little fellas are ready to enter the parts bin. With that step out of the way, we can proceed forward and remove the floor from the sprue. With these slanted edges, the cleanup is not as easy as just removing the sprue runners, so some more attention is needed. The instructions suggest that we should attach the rudder pedals and the control columns right now, but I don't think this is a very good idea, so I'm going to skip this for now. I'm also going to skip the assembly of the instrument panel and the shroud on top of it, because I want to paint this without the shroud and then to assemble it. So now we're going straight to step 4. The assembly here is typical for ICM, and I will first add a little bit of Mr. Cement Deluxe, which is slower setting cement that will fix the parts in position, and then I will go back and apply some of the faster setting cements. With this one it is important to add glue to both sides I have to say that the fit is excellent. However, I'm not really sure about this seam line here. I'll have to take a look in my photos to see whether or not I should fill it. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. Most of you know them for custom PCBs, but they also offer professional 3D printing services. Whether you're after a resin, SLS or even metal parts, PCBWay delivers high precision results perfect for model building or custom tools. Uploading your design is easy. Just head to their website, choose your material and get an instant quote. No back and forth, no surprises. If you are into customizing your builds or prototyping parts, definitely check them out. Link is in the description. And while adjustments are still possible, let's check how this will fit on the deck. Okay, we have no problems here. To absolutely no one's surprise, we can see that here we have no seam, some rivets but not a seam, so this one here and here should be filled. This is never a fun thing to do, but it has to be done. Diluting the putty with some Mr. Cement S greatly enhances the ease of application. Applying putty with a silicone brush gives us a great benefit because unlike with any other tool, here the removal of the old putty is super easy, really not very time consuming. Before I start sanding, while the putty is not super hard yet, I'm going to remove some of the excess, because this is much faster. And creates much less dust. Now I'm going to do some sanding, but I'm not going to bother you with this because I can do this. And with the magic of editing, we have this piece already sanded. And now it is time to install it in position, because this way we will have a much more holistic approach to the painting. And this piece will not cause any issues, unlike for instance the pedals or the other small items that can be easily broken. There we have it, a nice fit. Now let's get this forward bulkhead and install it. We have nice guides for the forward bulkhead. It leans right against the central console, which makes things rather easy to put together. For step 7, I will for now remove only the seats and prep them for a little bit of extra detail. What I'm going to do now is to mask around the cushion so that I can paint on some texture. In regards to the seat, I think it is fair to say it is disappointing that there is no kind of seat belts included in the kit, and since this is an in-box review that aims at presenting the kit as it is, I will not be adding anything in this regard, but again, with so many seats in this kit, it would have been nice to have some seat belts, but in any case they are not included, so I'm going to just paint on some texture here and that will be it. So I will do the rest of the masking off camera and we'll get back once it is done. With both seats masked, now it is time to apply the special sauce. The problem with masking such tiny strips is that the tape always wants to lift, but it is what it is. Now, if you are interested in the ingredients of this anti-slip coating or texture coating, you can check my dedicated video on the topic. Here I don't care about the color, I just want to get the texture because I will overpaint it with the color that I want it to be. And just like that, our seats have some texture on the cushions. Nothing super fancy, but I think it will do a good job. For the areas where I don't want to have the coating but I didn't mask, I will simply scratch it away with the scalpel blade. Now let's finish the seat assembly. Some Mr. Cement Deluxe will help me to fix the frame in place. And then with some Mr. Cement SP, I will sort of confirm that this will stay here. What I failed to mention is that I cleaned up all the molding imperfections. The fit actually is real nice. Here we have two protrusions that go in between these things here and fix the frame in position, so it is all nice and easy to install. Putting the small legs in position will be slightly trickier, and here once again I'm going to employ the Cement Deluxe to hold them in place for the time being while I do the adjustments. Now I really need to act faster because while this is slow setting, it still will be set in a few minutes, and yeah, that will do. I will need to do the other one because after I put it in place I will have to align the thing. This is kind of a flimsy construction, but there they are. I'll try to make them parallel to each other Next up, I'm going to use the floor as a jig so I can be sure that everything is nicely aligned. It will be good if I have no glue anywhere that can actually weld the seat to the floor at this point, but always good I think right now. So the seat is complete. I would like to thank all the amazing people who support me on Patreon. You guys are awesome. And this part of the seat assembly is complete. Next up come the collectives, but here we have a little bit of an issue because there is an ejection pin mark on both sides. So when they come together, they don't really want to come together. There is always a gap. So this will need to be very carefully removed without damaging and making the fit worse, which is not always super easy. Also, another thing is that the throttle head that is on the top of the collective is out of register, which I already fixed on this one. That sanding needs to be done very carefully because it is a fragile piece. Now the way I think it will be the easiest to assemble those will be to put them together, align them properly, fix them in position with a clamp, and then commit to the glue. We'll fix the alignment later. Now that they have the glue, we can still move them, but some of the glue will get out of the joints, practically acting as a filler. Here is the step I was talking about on the throttle, and yeah, it is a matter of very careful sanding. We don't want to break it, we don't want to change the shape, just to remove the step. The joint between the boot and the throttle is not especially authoritarian, but it's going to do the job for now. Alright, these two are complete. Now before we go any further, I would like to add some more texture right here in this area, because here we have some anti-slip surface on the real aircraft, and now I'll try to replicate that on the model. I think that 2mm is very adequate spacing and width of the anti-slip bands. I'm using 2mm wide vinyl tape to recreate this effect, actually to mask. Because I'm going to replicate the effect using the anti-slip concoction I used for the seat texture. And now that I have 3 strips one next to each other. I can remove the spacer strip and place it on the other side. And like that, I'm going to go through the end. Not very exciting thing to watch. So, and this looks awesome even without any paint on it. Now I'll have to somehow mask off those tie down points because they don't have anti-slip surface on them. And let's see how this will play out. Now the solution that I have found for masking the tie down points is to use liquid mask. The grooves that are surrounding the tie down points will make it easier for the physics to work. The capillary action should hold the liquid right on the edge of the groove. Now it is important not to put too much liquid because then it will overcome the surface tension and it will spill out. So I will not bother you with this anymore. I am starting to feel like Thanos with all these finger snapping, but the important thing is that in about 30 minutes I was able to cover all the tie down points and some extra bits on the sides. So now I can apply the anti-slip coating. The anti-slip coating application is done, so now let's enjoy the masking tape removal. Looks good, doesn't it? Now here we have an access panel that will need some rescribing, for which I'm going to use this MRP point describer, and I'm going to try and remove the anti-slip surface only on the panel line. Just like this. Now let's deal with these ammo boxes. The fit on this is real good. However, there is not much detail involved, so there is that. After some seam elimination, these ammo boxes are ready to wait for the paint. Next up, we get to assemble some sidewalls. Well, there are some ejector pins to manage, so and while some are in need of filler, others will need sanding. Here we have a groove that accepts this piece, and I guess all we need is a little bit of cement to lock it in position. Next thing you know, the ejector pins that needed filling now need sanding. Next up on the bulkhead goes the armor plate, and the connection is facilitated through two very small pins. I hope this will survive until the end of the build. It is rinse and repeat on the other side. To get the latest updates, join me on Patreon. Link I will leave in the description. And finally, for these side walls, there are two finishing pieces, one on each side. Here the fit is pretty well engineered, in my opinion. The joint is good enough and there is plenty of area for the glue. Melt and bond the two pieces together. Detail is not bad at all. The thing here that one has to be careful is that two of the sprue connections are located onto the contact surface, so if not cleaned up properly, they will be in the way of the good fit. I was not sure whether or not I should put these in place, if it's going to make painting the seats harder, but let's put them on. These containers are site specific, so they will determine which seat goes on the left side and which seat goes on the right side. The fit, honestly, I cannot ask for any better. Next up, I will remove what is left on the sprues to complete this page of the instructions, and because I'm not going to glue them on, I'm going to prep them for painting, like the rudder pedals. As you can see, I am cutting those with part of the sprue because this will be easier for me to handle. And since the sprue gate is attached conveniently away from the parts that can be seen, I can bend the part like that and then just remove the sprue. With the preparation of the smaller parts for painting, this episode comes to a conclusion. We have successfully completed the first page of the instructions, and I think all is going very well for now. How it will continue, we will see in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, happy modeling, fellas!